One of the things people speculated on, obviously Jim had Colin Kaepernick with the 49ers and did some different things with Colin in that system. Do you anticipate, could you foresee it looking similar to some of the things they did in San Francisco?
No, I think you're going to find that Shea's skill set, you're going to find him throwing passes really, for the most part, between the tackles. I mean, this perception, yeah, he is an exceptional creator once he gets outside. But because of his unique throwing motion and how fast he processes information and his actual release, you're going to find him to be really more of a pro-style passer that just happens to have the ability to escape when he needs to be.
Yeah, and looking at Michigan, I mean, his escapability has been a major part of what they do. But there's some read option concepts already in the offense. I didn't see a ton of what he did at Ole Miss, but was there a lot of non-improvisational run game for Shea in there?
Shea really, his time at Ole Miss, he didn't really have any design runs set up for him. I think his runs really were a result of him basically creating something after the first play kind of went haywire. That's where a quarterback of his stature and his capability is most dangerous, when it's unplanned.
Okay, so project for me, Steve. You've seen a lot of football, you've seen a lot of quarterbacks. What impact does Shea Patterson in Michigan? Let's assume everything else is the same. You drop Shea Patterson in that mix. What impact do you think he has on this offense?
Well, the biggest impact he's going to have is that he'll be able to take over, a team that has already had a year. I mean, this is a very young team that just got through playing, and he'll be able to walk into a team that's got a lot of experience around them, and he'll be able to fit right in and take it to the next step. The thing that he'll bring is that extra something that they just didn't have this past year. At the end of the season, he's got the experience. He will create something that they've never seen before. That's what you're going to get with Shea Patterson.
Okay, so one transition that we didn't speak to that maybe you can kind of explain whether or not this is going to be a hurdle. Obviously, in the spread system, you step to the line, you look to the sideline, they give you the player to check. In this offense, that's on the quarterback. I mean, he has to make those checks. He has to make those autos. What about that part of the transition for Shea?
He's not going to have a problem with it. I mean, people make too much of a deal. You got to remember, these guys spend countless hours. Even though they say 20 hours, these guys are going home with tapes and cut-ups, and it's a year-round. It's really more like 8 to 12-hour days for them on top of their classwork. So it's not something that he is incapable of doing. He's going to be able to master this in a very short period of time.
And so demeanor-wise, temperament-wise, what's your approach with your quarterbacks? Are you in your face, kind of on top of your quarterback's guy? And the reason why I ask that question is because I wonder what does Shea respond to most? What does he respond? Is it the fire and brimstone coaching approach? Is it the pat on the back coaching approach? Does it matter with Shea?
I don't think it really matters to me, because every coach is different. My style, certainly, I'm not in the profession that I'm in. I'm not an in-your-face kind of guy. I'm an informational guy, and I'm trying to be a correctional guy and prevent it. I try to make sure these kids are prepared. So it's a little bit different than me coaching in front of 80,000, 90,000 people, and you got a Big Ten championship on the line. If you're asking how's it going to be with Harbaugh, who can be, he's out there sometimes, right? But Jim coaches how he played. He's a tough man.
Right.
But a lot of people would love to play for him. Shea was certainly one of those. And, he's looking forward to playing for someone that has that kind of knowledge, that's played the position for him and played it extremely well, and has been a, phenomenal coach thus far. And he expects to have that continue.
How well do you know Jim?
I know him fairly well. I've known him. I first met him back when he was at Stanford, so that was my first encounter with him.
The reason why I ask is from a coaching perspective. Obviously you got a lot of people in the media saying different things, but I'm curious from a coaching perspective, when you look at the trajectory and quarterback development. They didn't step into a quarterback at Michigan, so obviously it's a process when it comes to developing guys. Just as you looked at him step into this situation, you knew Michigan before he got there. What do you think of the trajectory, if you will?
Well, at this point, look, he's got to look to the west there. He's got to see Ohio State. He's got to battle that, certainly. But I just think it goes in cycles. I think they're due. I think Michigan is that one team that I think last year, I think because they had a lot of new parts, new pieces, if you will, they were going to have to take a step back. This year, I think that this team is primed to make a huge jump. And let's see if Shea's eligible or not. Otherwise, they're going to have to make do with what they have. But I think with the people that they have, just another year of experience, they're going to be really, really good.